Good morning, class. We are continuing with the process of method cement manufacturing, and today we are going to look at the second method, and the second method is known as dry process method. Dry process method, and the steps are the same. That is the correction of the materials, correction of the raw materials, raw materials. That is the limestone, the clay or the shell, and then after the correction of the raw materials, you go to the second step. That is grinding. That is grinding and crushing, and then mixing. As with the wet process, you grind the clay or the shell, and then you crush the limestone. You crush the limestone, and then when you have crushed them, you store them in the storage facilities or storage bins. Separately. The grinded clay and the ground clay and the crushed limestone. And then after that, for this one, you do not add the water, but instead you mix them when they are still dry. You mix them in dry state, and when you mix them, you make what we call the raw meal. It is important to make a point that for the wet process, when you mix them, you make a slurry. Now from here with the raw meal, you go to the third step. You go to the third step, that is burning or calcination. When you are burning for the dry process, remember you cannot dry the raw meal when it is still very dry. So you add 20%. You add 20% of water to make sure that burning or calcination is effective. Then after you have done that, we go to the third step, fourth step, and before you do that, when you are burning, you start at the upper part. The upper part of the rotary kiln. What happens in the rotary kiln is that the temperatures are a bit lower on the upper part of the rotary kiln, and therefore when you introduce them there, they keep on rotating, and as they rotate, the raw meal or whatever you introduced in the rotary kiln, it undergoes a process we call fusing, and as it continues or as it progresses to the lower part of the kiln, it experiences very high temperatures. It encounters very high temperatures. So by the time it reaches the lower part of the rotary kiln, it has already fused into solid form, and with these wood stones, and we call this clinker or cement balls. And then after you have done that, rotary kiln, you cool by the time that this clinker is formed here, it is so hot. It cannot be taken to the grinding mill when it's in that temperature. So you first of all, the clinker is cooled fast. It is cooled fast. It's also a kind of a kiln purposely made for that. And then after it had been cooled, we go to the first step, that is grinding of the clinker. When the clinker is ground, this is where we get the cement. And the cement we get from this process, both dry and the wet, is what we call ordinary Portland cement, and it is denoted by OPM, ordinary Portland cement. And then after grinding this cement, it is stored in the silos. It is then stored in silos, ready for packaging and dispersing. So that is all what we have for those are the four processes of the dry process method. That is collection of the raw materials, grinding, crushing, and mixing them. And when we mix them, we form the raw meal. And then after that, we go to the first that step, that is burning or calcination. And for the dry process, you add some water to facilitate burning, or what we are calling the calcination. And after that, what you get as a result after this process is what we are referring to as 70 balls, or the clinker. And then you cool the clinker, and then you grind it to get the OPM, what we are calling the OPM, or ordinary Portland cement, and then it is stored in silos. So that is all what there is in that process. We shall continue from there, but I will give a chart flow for this process.